VGC is supported by Patreon. Check out patreon.com/videogameschronicle for more podcasts, ad-free browsing, and extra content. Thank you for your support. All my worries die. I'm glad that I'm alive. It's VGC the Video Game Podcast, episode 183, with me, Jordan Midler, and Chris Scullion. This week's episode is exclusively on Tubi, but first, how's it going, folk? Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. This morning was mad because my wife has decided to help me out so obviously I do my book every weekend, and every weekend I get a page or two in, and then the kid just decides she wants to play games with me, which is a nice thing to have, and like gets annoyed if I don't. So then basically the book goes to the wayside and I can never really get a good run going. So she's like, how about it's just the school holidays end in Scotland, certainly in Edinburgh next week. She's like, how about right before...
That's a scam, by the way. And in my mind, the school holidays used to go on till about November. I can't believe that it's like the second week of August.
Apparently not, but so she's like, this is her last weekend. Why don't I take her on a week? Because she loves caravans. Why don't I take her on a wee caravan break just to Ayr or something? Just to give you like a free run at the book. I was like, brilliant. That's ideal. That's perfect. So now we're supposed to leave at 10:30. It is now 12:20. And so I basically spent the last hour and a half just like, listen, I really appreciate like you doing this, but can you I'm losing it here.
Were you getting it, tapping your foot like Sonic and looking at your watch? And
I was like, well, it was like, cause last night I said to Liz, like, she said, I'll be out by 11. I says, no, you won't. Yeah, well, of course I will. No, you won't. It's like 11:05. I was just giving her the look like,
Chris's wife is a New York gangster, for those that aren't aware.
She's part of the mafioso.
She's got by 11, see?
Every time she says something, another wee guy pops up and goes, he ain't gonna like that you said that, boss. And that happens all the time. But yeah, so they're now away, they're now off in the car to Ayr. And yeah, so I'll get a nice kind of a quiet weekend to just hammer in the book. And in the new car as well, so I'm hoping they don't crash it. We literally just got the car like 3 days ago, so...
Scrape the absolute shite out of it.
Exactly, especially parked next to a caravan, so we'll see what happens.
I went to university in Ayr, so I spent some formative years in that absolute dump of a place. The University of the West of Scotland Ayr campus, truly the dregs of society. But it was a weird situation wherein in 5th and 6th year, we were so drilled by the idea that if you don't go to university, you might as well start shooting up because that's the end of your life. And obviously, in the years since, and I feel like culturally going to uni isn't really the be all and end all these days. But I was like, okay, what will I end up doing? And this is when I was really, really obsessed. I still am obsessed in the sense that I think it's the greatest TV show ever written, but I was really obsessed with 30 Rock, and I was like, okay, I want to be some kind of showrunner. I want to be Charlie Brooker. Let me go and do filmmaking and screenwriting at uni. Turned out to essentially just be a film course with a little creative writing module on it. And as someone who'd just left high school with an A in advanced higher English, doing what was essentially 4th year high school English again, not the most exciting prospect for my late teen years. So I ended up...
They like to jam modules in there that are very vague, aren't they? Like, because when I did journalism, so I did journalism and it was a 3 years course and an honours year, and it was like, how are they going to stretch this out to 3 years? The answer is they didn't. They would fill it up with the history of Britain. So there's like a British industrial revolution type thing where I was learning about how the printing press worked. I'm like, well, that's no use. And then they let you take, again, I took on like a film theory course, which again I thought, because I fancied myself as a cineast, I believe they call it. And it was literally just, you would come in and you'd sit there and watch Nosferatu or the Battleship Potemkin. So it's like, listen, mate, I can tell you anything you want to know about Eisenstein's theory of montage, but it didn't really help my journalism.
The problem was in the UWS Ayr campus, it was like a new building, but it was built quite deep into the ground. So the film lecture hall was like 3 stories into the ground, boiling all the time. So it was essentially this roasting hot cinema where they're playing these pishy films. And this was before I'd completely signed off the idea of films altogether. But I could not help falling asleep. And it was freaking me out because I was like, am I no well or something? Because I'm getting a proper night's sleep, getting the train to Ayr, feeling fine, and then half an hour into a lecture, I'm getting just absolutely knocked out. And when I started making pals in that class, they were like, yeah, this is terrible. So every year we would go through this repeated cycle of complaining about the course, the people who ran the course going, well, you guys are the first people to do it, and we'll make some adjustments for the next year, and obviously the people coming up after you will get like a slightly different version. So we essentially beta tested this course through this entire thing, which is exactly why I will die before I pay a penny of my student loan back, because it was an absolute rip-off. So by the time we got to second year, I was like, well, bollocks to this. I'm going to basically not go to uni anymore and just really hammer into YouTube videos, because this was in the nascent stages of people being like, oh, well, this games journalism thing's probably going to die pretty soon, which was funny at the time because there was hundreds of us then, and there's about 5 years now, and they're like, oh yeah, you should start this YouTube stuff. So we did all that YouTube stuff. And eventually when the BBC came to my uni course to be like, we need new people, I had all this YouTube stuff to show them and go, can I review games? And then they went, oh no, we can't really do reviews because they're adverts. And I was like, oh, Thankfully, God bless Mark Kermode, because I was able to send one link and they were like, oh yeah, we do reviews. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, man.
I don't know if you remember many years ago there was a story doing the rounds at a university. Actually, it came back up. I think it's the same guy. There was a scandalous Daily Record story about how a university was doing a degree in The Simpsons.
All right. Okay.
And basically, it turns out one guy, a sociology guy, was basically doing. It wasn't a degree at all. He was doing lectures about The Simpsons and how it worked with sociology and all that. And we ended up getting nice. His lecture as just 1 week only, like a one session in our course in sociology. And it was the most boring thing. You've ever seen The Simpsons made so boring? He'd play like a clip, not even a good clip. And then he'd go, and of course, what this means is that Homer, in wanting a donut, and ultimately not getting the donut, all he can do is let out an exasperated dough, and in a way that speaks volumes about his. And you're like, mate,
right, we're in the newsroom. They're doing a Simpsons degree at university. My first pitch for a headline would be Diploma. I think
that's good.
It's all right.
I don't even remember what the headline was back, because we're talking more than 20 years ago now. But
Bachelor of Marge, something like that.
What would it be? I can't even think. And it was Napier University. Really.
Bachelor of Marge, Bachelor of Bart. Come on now, oh Jesus.
Bachelor of Barts.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know. Either way, but yeah, it wasn't very good. Speaking just on another tangent, speaking of Ayr, my mother-in-law, God rest her, who I sadly never got to meet, moved to Canada when they were in their 20s, and that's how Louise was ultimately conceived and birthed. But they came from Bolton originally, so they had like a proper up top north accent. And she worked in a hairdresser. She got her own hair salon in Ayr, Ontario. But she couldn't. And the salon was called Ayr Hair Magic.
Good.
But because of her accent, every time somebody phoned up, she'd pick up the phone and go, magic. And the reply would always be, hello. Confused.
Canada, you're joking. Gravy on chips with cheese curds. You're joking.
They put milk in tip bag.
You're joking. This isn't America. If you like more racist accents, patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. It's the #1 place to visit for ad-free browsing on the website, exclusive videos, exclusive podcasts, and more. This week, we put up the recording of our S&M Q&A, which is exactly what you think it is. That was fun. You can come and see us chat to some of the patrons up there. That's up at every tier. There are the absolute dregs of VGC Live tickets. If you want to come and see us live in Glasgow on October the 16th at Glasgow's Oranmore. Very, very, very few tickets left. Come and see us. See some special guests. See me beat Alex Donaldson to death with a cartoon fish. It will be a joy. Chris Scullion.
Hello.
GTA news. Story #1. An extended look at GTA 6 is coming to Netflix this month. Rockstar has announced an extended look of the game is taking place on the streaming platform later in the month. GTA 6, an extended look, premieres on Netflix August 27th at 12 p.m. PT, 3 p.m. ET, and 8 p.m. BST. It will also launch on the Rockstar Games YouTube channel and the GTA 6 website 6 hours later. Neither Rockstar nor Netflix has given any information on the presentation or how long it will last. Quote, see an extended look at GTA 6 and the next evolution in the groundbreaking Grand Theft Auto series. The official description reads. Chris, this is a weird one. We were obviously expecting some kind of GTA presentation soon-ish, considering the game's going to be out in a couple of months, but I think it's pretty amazing that they have done it this way, and I think that it offers up interesting conversations about the future of showing games this big early, completely cutting out people like us, like, and what it means. Do you think the GTA is the singular product that could pull this off?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And also, I don't. Some people have taken it really personally and getting really annoyed by it, but I'm just like, this is a game that obviously they're trying their best not to leak anything of, to the extent that the rumour that one of the reasons they're releasing it is a code in a box rather than disc, is so that nobody can rinse the disc before releasing it. I get all that. So I'm not surprised in the slightest that they're not doing the traditional preview look to the press that companies would do these days, because you put the press in an open world and they'll find all the Easter eggs before the game comes out. So I get it. Do you know, it's an odd way of doing it, but I don't think it's without precedent. I was saying this morning on the socials that I'm old enough to remember that the Xbox 360 was revealed on MTV instead of E3. So it's happened before. It is very infrequent, and it can only be done for the biggest things, like a new console reveal or like a game like GTA, where the people, the core gamers, if you want to use that term, which I hate, are already sold on it. It's already pre-ordering in crazy numbers. They don't have to show a single second of the game and it will sell daft numbers. The reason for this Netflix move is because they want to reach the people who aren't already either aware of it or already sold on it, or maybe played the last one 13 years ago and haven't played games since, and this is now their way back into it. So essentially, long story short, for all the people complaining that it's on Netflix, it's not for you.
I
wasn't
think
aimed at you.
It makes sense in the idea that there was a study recently that said that people's default TV has changed from like whatever it used to be. The default thing that their TV would open to would be like BBC One or whatever, and in the past couple of years it has defaulted to being the number one thing is Netflix. So people load up Netflix. You see it now with if you're algorithmically inclined to watch the wrestling, it'll pop up when it's on live now, and it'll be like a little preview window. Yeah. For the next 2 months, in the same way that they took over the PlayStation, you open Netflix, it goes, it plays the start of that Tom Petty song, shows the GTA thing, and people who are aware of GTA conceptually, but are not keeping up with games press, are not really plugged in that way, who still ask me, oh, when's that new GTA coming? If it's on Netflix and it's getting rammed down their throat the same way that like a new series of Stranger Things would have been when that was still kicking about, then it makes sense. And as you say, there is no one really who is on the fence in games about whether or not they're going to pick up the new GTA, or at least there's no one that's on the fence about like being aware of GTA. It's impossible to ignore, for better or for worse. So I think aiming it at these people makes sense. The only other franchise that I think this would make sense for actually is FC, because FC is so mainstream, and you put that on Amazon Prime. If Amazon Prime I don't know if they have any Premier League games this year, but for a few years they got like a couple of weekends worth of them. You put that across the homepage at the same time. But I suppose the thing that I think will maybe make this fall down slightly is big advert for GTA, and it depends how long it goes for, but if it's only at the end of August, big advert for GTA, oh, when's it coming out? I can't buy it, out the brain. This has to still be there on November 19th, and it has to be like, oh, when can I buy it? Here's a QR code, you scan that, it takes you to a store, and that's it. Like, it has to be stupidly easy for people, or they won't bother their arse.
Yeah, if anything, it's a wee bit early. It should be like 2 weeks before it comes out, and that. But I think The problem is, a lot of people complain, we haven't seen gameplay up to now, and presumably we'll see gameplay during this. But like you say, anyone who's clued in on GTA doesn't need to see gameplay.
Yeah,
but they know what GTA
close your eyes and you can imagine. You can see that game being played in front of you. There's bits 100%. And bobs. There's like, maybe there's a big new like crime boss system, or there's new systems for real estate and stuff like that. But that's like minutia stuff. This isn't going to load up and it's like a side scroller or something like that. Like it's a third person action game. So.
See, be totally honest with you, and I know this isn't compatible with my job. I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
I don't want any of it spoiled.
I kind of feel the same way.
We're going to have to cover it, although it's going to be a bastard because it's 9 p.m. Germany time during Gamescom, where I'll literally have done a full shift from 9 a.m. to I think 7:30 p.m. My last appointment is in Gamescom. My Gamescom is so rammed that I'm literally doing things outside of the venue that are taking place after Gamescom, so I can see more stuff. And then I'm going to have to pretty much just like you go around the alley of the coal messer, and a guy just opens his jacket and says,
"Would you like to play some games?"
I almost said a game that was embargoed. Almost done
on that Thursday, I will be at the Pokemon World Championships, and I have already sent a message saying, "Please, for the love of God, don't have anything on my schedule at that time because it's going to be Ramo." But that's the other thing. This is a weird situation where they're going to put it on Netflix. Everyone's going to react to it and restream it and screen record it and take screenshots and stuff like that. I don't see this being a big newsy event because it's not as if they're waiting to do the release date or the price or anything like that. This will just be look gameplay at details. This game. This is what it looks like. Here are the gameplay details. Maybe they end it with, and GTA 6 Online is coming in 2027 or something like that. But this is an avoidable one, I think, if people are just like, okay, well, I know when the game's coming out. I don't really care anymore. I do want to see it because I'm just so curious to see what that game looks like when a person is holding a controller, quote unquote, and walking around in the world, because I still maintain that I think people are going to have their absolute hair blown back by the state of it. When you think in your mind that GTA 5 was designed for a console that launched in 2005, like it has been so long since we've seen something from these guys. And there's a reason that Red Dead 2 has become a meme of anytime any game comes out. Like James 1 came out and there was a scene where people are chopping steak, like an NPC thing. Doesn't matter. You don't even notice it when you're running through the world, but they compared it to Red Dead 2, and in Red Dead 2 you see the meat coming off and you see it following the knife exactly, whereas in James Bond they're getting at the Muppets, and it's like, man, if it's as detailed and as crazy as those games always have been, it's going to be very interesting.
Did you see the towel one recently? I was like, come on. Someone's like, look at this. It took a really extreme close-up of a towel from a screenshot and from GTA 6. Just look at this compared to a towel from GTA 5, and there was like a flat texture. I'm like, aye? How old is that game? What are you expecting? Some people are getting a wee bit overboard with it, and it's like, I know that it's mainly YouTubers that are annoyed at this Netflix thing. Maybe because Netflix is quite hard to capture from on a PC because it blacks the screen out. If you try and capture from Netflix, it's got.
I saw someone on the VGC Discord. They might have been a liar because there's a lot of liars in there. Saying and that
frauds and cheats,
a lot of scallywags and scoundrels, a lot of people who I would never trust. But one of them was saying that Netflix is encouraging people to restream it, which I had the same thought as you. It's like if you open Netflix with any kind of OBS or Streamlabs or something, it freaks out and doesn't let you capture it. So I don't know how this is going to go down. That won't stop anyone, of course.
No, there's ways around it. It's just
Johnny TikTok will be holding their phone like this towards the screen and just shakily watching it. That's how I watch all like boxing or UFC fights that I want to see these days. I just search the name on TikTok and it's someone going holding their phone up to the screen in like 240p. But yeah, I think people, so talking about it in the terms of games coverage, GTA 6 doesn't need previews. I still maintain that I think not only does it need reviews from like an accountability standpoint, I still think Rockstar want on launch day to have 5-star, 5-star, 5-star,
Yeah,
10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
yeah.
They want all that stuff. The greatest. They want someone to say this is the best game of all time, so they can put that in like the little floors on the trailer. But I think that will also be hyper controlled. We've joked about it for a long time, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if it's a hotel in Edinburgh job like the good old days. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that Rockstar doing this is like a portent of all games media being cut out, because there's still a place for that. I mean, last week I was in Vancouver. It was not many actual games media, a lot of like FC creators, but by doing that you get a lot of different content. Like, we posted a lot of interview stuff, some hands-on feature stuff, but the content creators were basically sitting down with their audience. In some cases, they were live streaming from the event, interviewing developers, and it gets all this information out in different ways. So I don't think one necessarily exists without the other.
Yeah, there's a place for that. I've come to peace with the fact that there are content creators now, because obviously I've been doing this for so long that you get these waves of fighting against things and then acceptance. And I get there is a place for specialist content creators, that the FIFA, the EAFC community and the Call of Duty community and all that. And I get that these are the people who know these games inside out, who play these games 10 hours a day. They know the minutiae. They're speaking to people who are the same. I get that. Our role is still crucial, because, not that I'm saying those people are incapable of criticism, but those people are far more likely to be more forgiving of any flaws, if it means their relationship with the publisher is in any way in danger, if they don't toe the company line, as it were. If they come out and say, I've just played the grounds and it's dog shit, they won't be invited back for
a few of them did think that.
So they whereas we're at least distanced enough from it that we can say, listen, this isn't working out, this isn't that good, if we believe that. And the publisher knows that that's our job. Our job isn't an influence. Our job. This guy's job isn't to influence. This guy's job is to critique.
I was trying to do Roy Keane, and you just went straight back into.
Was that maybe? Sorry, I thought you were doing.
Do I have a Roy Keane?
Mafia.
That's his job. He's reviewing games. That's his job.
When I tried to Roy Keane, I always go back to that baby. No, that one. He's just being a big baby. Baby. That's all I can do for Roy Keane. It's not very good.
I also think that having critics that cover everything offers a different like perspective, obviously, because when we're reviewing stuff, like if I'm reviewing Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, as I am at the moment, I also reviewed Street Fighter. You did Tekken, but I played Tekken. Like, you have this like entire span of games that you can compare it against, and you understand like the demands of the genre and stuff like that. Whereas I like the content creators I like are the hyper niche, like the FC players that are even more dialed down. One of the only games I think I could be a content creator for is FC, because I like spam that game so much and I absolutely no life it. But there's some boys that I'm like, come on now, this is getting into special interest territory. This is really this is good stuff. And I think that getting those people in front of devs is helpful, because it's like the devs can see the absolute hardest of the hardcore. So we'll talk about FC later on, but we were in a presentation about Ultimate Team. And the boy that runs Ultimate Team now is a boy, Jamie Kane, who used to be the Foot Economist. He was a YouTuber that did like buying and selling on the transfer market in FC. So in this Ultimate Team presentation, he finished and he said, any questions? Every hand went up, and every single question was incredibly niche. Like, so niche that you wouldn't do it as a news story on the website because no one would care. But a tweet or a video from an FC content creator, this is a big deal. This is a serious change to the way this game works. It's a tiny change, but it makes a big difference. And I think that those people coming to the events we go to and covering the games in the same way we do is key. I think there's an interesting split where, in terms of review codes, I know of many major publishers who won't give review codes to creators until like the day before it comes out, so that on the launch day they can have like, here's my first impressions, but they won't have a game for like, let's say, a month before the game comes out, like we might have.
Aye, because they've ripped the arse out of it. They'll take out every single spoiler out of it as well. Yeah, I think it's a balance that has to be met. I've seen situations where influencers and creators get basically VIP treatment, and we're there because we have to be. Essentially, it's kind of felt that we can't not invite the press. So that's I've been to events before, one in which involving a certain cushion where the press had a session and then they get punted out, and then the influencers came in and had a separate session, and you're like, okay, well, what's the difference? What's going on in that bit? Is that where the caviar comes out? And so I think there is a balance to be met where I worry that I don't want to get bogged down into the ethics side of things again and all that, but it feels easier to push a positive message with a certain type of influencer than it does with people like us. On paper, that's how it should work. That we should be more objective's not the word, but more critical and look at things with a more critical eye instead of just willingly accepting what we're told.
Yeah, and that's not to denigrate people who do like influencer and stuff like that. Like I think it's becoming an influencer that has some kind of following is an incredibly difficult skill, and I'm always impressed by people that can pull it off. So yeah, it's a separate thing. There's a reason that in PR terms we are called earned media. Like there's a reason for that. But I mean, there's blurred lines. There's stuff we do that's influencery.
Influenza.
Yeah, influenza. We each have big followings on social media. Like in certain cases, we are influencery. So
my following's up to 3 figures in some cases, triple figures, up in the hundreds. There's some situations where we. And there's something I'm an unashamed Dreamlight Valley fanboy.
Of all the games to die on your sword for.
You're always straddling the divide between Pokemon press and influencer, which you'll happily admit as well.
Oh yeah,
like there are some IPs where we are more lenient than others, but that's just human nature rather than if Dreamlight Valley was to turn around tomorrow and say, actually, we're nickel and diming the shit out of this now. We've decided that energy is going to become monetized and all that. At that point, I'll go. No, I did it with, and again, not the greatest game to pull out. Disney Speedstorm. I used to be an absolute obsessive with that, and then they added wild monetization to it, split their seasons into 3 separate paid seasons, took out voice acting, like all this kind of stuff, and I just went that. It just stopped. That game can go swivel now. Same with that Pokemon card game. When they start,
TCG Pocket, I don't.
Yeah, I happily paid my subscription fee for that until it became clear that they were then charging for specific cards as well, and I was like, that stopped at that point. So I think there are some IPs that we love more as fans that we will be not lenient, but will forgive a few minor transgressions. But when they push it too far, we still have to kind of put the journalist hat on and say, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, you can find on the internet my review of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which was an absolutely atrocious pair of games. But I also think there's like, it's hard to label, and this is a wider problem with reviews. You're like, oh, he pure forgave this element of it, and it feels like a cop out to just be like, yeah, because it didn't annoy me that much. It's how I feel about it. So if it didn't annoy me, I can't perform annoyance. I can mention it might annoy so and so, but for me, this is fine because of X, Y, and Z. But it's like we're enthusiast press, and the clue is the title is that this is a subject we are generally enthusiastic about. Meaning we don't actively go out seeking things to get annoyed about. Yeah.
Which I think certain circles think that's what the gig is.
Yeah, certain websites.
What kind of certain websites, certain channels are like, what is the angle we can spin here that makes this will make the most people angry? What's the bad part? Every time news is announced, what's the bad bit?
Yeah.
And look for that. We generally we want to find the good bit. If it's layoffs, then there's no silver lining there. You can't go on the bright side. This company's made a bit of money.
On the bright side, lots of free desks, so anyone can come
exactly.
in.
On the bright side, but recycling, fewer waste has been generated. So there are some stories where you just have to. But ultimately, our news is objective anyway, so we write the news and people form their own opinions from it.
Yeah.
But we don't specifically try and wangle a negative angle out of stories. Wangle an angle, as they say.
Yeah, I know.
As apparently, so I don't know. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm very tired. So I don't need to chuck a wife and child out the house at break of time to go to the caravan.
In conclusion, give me a noise representing GTA 6 on Netflix. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is the latest release from Arc System Works. It came out yesterday. There was no pre-release review copies for this game, which for a PlayStation game is actually very, very rare. But to be fair, they were resolute in the fact that they wanted the online to be working, and that wasn't getting turned on till release day. So fine, whatever. When they told me that, I was like, okay, so is there very little single player content in this? And I'm glad to report that is not the case. There are 5 episode, like their story mode is like episode mode. So there's 5 of those. You play as the Avengers, the X-Men, the Spider-Man people, Deadpool and his pals, and the baddies. So it's a 4v4 fighting game.
Just the baddies.
It's a 4v4 fighting game in the style of other Arc System Works games. You start as one character. You can press L2 to swap to another character, or those other characters can assist you during moves. Marvel vs. Capcom, you get the idea. I think the art style is fantastic. Like, just looking at this game as it plays, I'm like, this is so class, man. Arc System Works are the people that do like you'll know them from the anime 2D fighters where you think it's 2D and then the perspective shifts and you're like, these are all 3D models, this is crazy. So they do kind of similar visual trickery here. The episode mode is a series of fights that are linked together with comic book panels, which I think is fun. It's a bit annoying in the sense that you're always gearing up to fight the same middle boss and top end boss. So you're essentially playing the same story from a load of different perspectives. So like, okay, we're in New York now and we're going to go and see the X-Men. Well, I'm actually playing as the X-Men. So in this time, we're going to go and see the Wakanda crew because Black Panther is part of the Avengers in this. Fine. It's just an excuse to play the fights. However, you can play the episodes in whatever order you want. When you complete an episode, the next one you play will be slightly harder, regardless of which one you play next. And it's just meant to ease you in to getting better and better at the game. And at any point you can go, right, that's enough. I'll cap it there. Trophies don't change. Unlocks don't change. Well, maybe there's unlocks for doing it on the crazy difficulty. I don't know. I'm not interested in that. But just as a way to learn the game, which I always think is the fighting game's like toughest challenge, because I don't want to sit in a training mode. I don't want to sit in a tutorial. Teach me the game without actually making me feel like I'm learning, you know? I think the episode mode does really well for that. The roster's okay. I'm going to get the roster up and I want you to give me a yay or nay on who we've got here. There's 20 to kick off the first the launch characters. They are sorted by team. So the fighting Avengers are Captain America, yay or nay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Iron Man, Hulk, Black Panther.
Yeah,
all good so far. Those are big stars. The Unbreakable X-Men, Storm, Wolverine, Magic, Danger.
What?
Yeah, so
but that's my middle name. How can that be?
But here we run into the problem. If you're giving me a fighting game with the X-Men in it, first question, where is Gambit?
Where's
Second
Gambit?
question,
Where's Jubilee?
where is Cyclops? Where is
Cyclops?
Nightcrawler? And you know where they are?
Even where's Morph? if you're gay as folk.
They're in the background of the X-Men stage, laughing at you. The entire team is there.
Laughing at you.
Like,
you got this.
I couldn't believe it. Rogue and Gambit are sitting there and I'm like, come on lads. Surely you two are going to be in it. I'm sure there'll be DLC, but that was... when the X-Men lineup was announced a little while ago, I was a little bit disappointed. The Amazing Guardians, Spider-Man,
yes,
Miss Marvel,
okay,
Star-Lord,
yep,
Penny Parker,
okay,
the Samurai Outriders, which sounds like a WCW faction, which I'm a big fan of.
I can't say I'm familiar with the Samurai Outriders, I'm afraid.
Ghost Rider,
yep,
Blade,
yep,
Deadpool, Loki.
Yeah.
And then
it's weird that they keep digging out Blade. They've got this weird relationship with Blade, haven't they? But yeah, fair enough.
They're desperate to put him in things, but they refuse to actually make that film. The Knights of Doom, Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
Magneto, Green Goblin,
Yeah.
and Carnage.
Okay. Not Venom though.
No Venom. So I think that all of the teams are pretty stacked apart from the X-Men, and as an X-Men man, that really makes
An X-Man.
that really makes me quite annoyed, but
That, you think that's the easiest one to do?
Yeah.
No? Like there's a generally established group of 5 or 6 X-Men that should always be in there, like without any kind of real thought. You just go those 6 plus who else, and it's like, so to have most of them not actually in it is odd. Like you say, it's probably DLC. They've got to hold some folk back.
yeah,
That's why Howard the Duck isn't in there yet.
So Howard the Duck is literally part of the DLC, but he's not a fighter. Sadly, he's like an assist character. I think that there's an issue where the X-Men have such a fighting game lineage. There is multiple X-Men fighting games, and like Cyclops and Gambit and Wolverine were obviously in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. So you expect your Cyclops, you expect Cable, you expect all these people will come to it eventually, but I just think the launch roster missing a few people that I like. I'm not a big Marvel guy generally. I think the Avengers are so boring. Like Captain America, Iron Man, snooze fest. But when you get Spider-Man and the Avengers, that's my Marvel. That's the Marvel they used to push before the MCU happened. It was Spider-Man, Wolverine and Hulk. Those were the big 3 before the MCU happened. Then
Nobody cared about Thor.
These jobbers, man, these absolute geeks like Iron Man and Captain America. I like Black Panther. I like that first Black Panther film was good. It makes me feel like a simpleton, but I do like Deadpool. It's a character flaw, but I do like Deadpool. Deadpool in this game, they've actually done something very good with him here. All of his moves and animations are from other fighting games. So someone's made a video on X, like, comparing, and every single one of them is like his ultimate move is Ryu's uppercut. His jumping move is this animation from this Guilty Gear game.
Good.
He does the Yoshimitsu like stab himself move. Like that's the way to do it.
Can I just Arc System Works, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a game that's synonymous with the greatest looking, for a studio synonymous with some of the greatest looking fighting games of all time, can they not change their logo?
Just a big
It is the single one. It looks like it was done in paint, and like, listen, I might be very ignorant. There might be a very deep reason for it. It might have been the first drawing created by the founder's ill child or something like that before they got sick. But it is the single worst logo I've ever seen of any company, and it blows my mind that it's still not been fixed. And I'm now in the process of looking into why. Apparently, according to their Twitter, the logo was designed by Hideyuki Anbe, a programmer on Guilty Gear. The intent was that it's supposed to look like a wave and spell out ARC. The dots above represent the company trying to navigate these waves and constantly create new and challenging games. All right, mate, you can do that and make it look a wee bit better at the same time. There's really no reason why it looks like a dog did it. with a crayon in its mouth.
Dog. What do you think is the best developer logo of all time? I've got a few in mind. I think I think it's hard to argue with the yellow Rockstar logo. I think that is iconic.
That's a strong one. It's weird because I associate a lot of logos with startup sequences, which were at their peak in PS1, PS2 era.
I think we have the same one in mind.
Konami?
No, I wasn't.
Oh no, what are you thinking? You're thinking Capcom?
No, I was going. Neversoft with the dagger going through the eye.
Going through the eye.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe it's more 16-bit era, but I always picture the screen going white all the way down and then going with the wee Capcom logo, or the Konami logo, or one of the 4 million. The Capcom had that weird one that nobody can do in the 16-bit era, and then they had loads of different ones. Remember, like Resident Evil had a different one, and but yeah, the Rockstar's a good shout. That is pretty.
That's like you put that on the wall and you're like, okay, this is pretty class. I think. Did you see that they recently updated the Bethesda Softworks one for like their anniversary? Oh, really? I think it looks cooler. I think it looks cooler than the old one. The old one was kind of the name. Yeah.
I don't know. Atari will always be like one of my favorites.
Atari's one you can put on a t-shirt and you're like, yeah, okay, that
get away with it.
That works for me. So we have the first DLC character for Marvel's Took on Fighting Souls, and it is Phoenix Cyclops, which is a version of Scott Summers inspired by his Phoenix 5 appearance in the Avengers vs. X-Men comic storyline, wielding cosmic Phoenix Force flames alongside his signature optic blast. So they're putting Cyclops in it. The first character. Second character, get Gambit in it. All the DLC, X-Men characters. I don't give a shit about anything else. Just do X-Men characters for the whole DLC. Oh.
It's a weird one. So is there like these 5 stories, is there like a generic arcade mode as well, or is that only single player?
So there is an arcade mode, but it's like a hexagonal grid where you do 3 fights and then you can go like left or right, and then in that left or right there's another left or right, so each character has like a lot of that. I completed 2 of them last night, like 2 runs, and I'd only completed like 50 odd % of the possible runs in that area. So there's hundreds of single player stuff in it. I'm genuinely quite shocked by how much is in it. At
the risk of a dated reference, so it's like Blockbusters.
Yes, it's like Rockbusters, the famous radio program. Detroit Spinners.
Listen, not to go off on a tangent, because I know it's something we'd rarely do. Mm-hmm. Have you seen the reviews for Gervais's cat thing?
I saw a clip from it, and I wanted to peel
clip?
my own fingernails off.
It is genuinely one of that clip. I don't know if it's the same clip that I saw, where they're all just, apparently half the show's them just sitting.
They're talking about Gandhi. Was it that one? Yeah.
It's like, it feels like. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Just like
losing your voice.
Oh, you're fucking. It feels like. I saw an interview with him basically saying the animation was the hardest bit. I was like, yeah, I can believe that, because it sounds like literally it's been conceived during lockdown, and he's just done a Zoom call with his pals.
It's just the folk that was in Afterlife. Afterlife is one of the worst telly programs ever made, man.
And he's just saying the a lot of the stuff in that clip is just stuff he's said before in XFM.
Yeah,
and by all accounts from the reviews, it's the same stuff. It's I'd love it if animals attacked people because I'm so worthy. Oh, God doesn't exist because I'm an atheist.
You know, Chris, I actually think dogs are better than people. It's just my kind of whack. I know people aren't going to like that I'm saying this, but I actually think that like I think like humans are kind of bastards and dogs are actually kind of cool.
It's ironic that Extras, which was the last genuinely brilliant show he did with Stephen Merchant, I hasten to add, had a subplot of a fake TV show, which was lowest common denominator shite. Mm-hmm. And he is now at the point where he's doing lowest common denominator shite, where literally the gimmick is these cats swear. And you look at his following on the socials, and it's all people going, they're swearing, that's brilliant. It's half people going that, and half people going, that'll make people angry.
No, you can't say that these days. You can only say it on a very, very expensive program that was shown on the most popular streaming platform in the world. Can't say it these days.
So basically, not to go on about this, but the guy's basically made himself a very nice wee niche where basically Netflix are chucking daft money at him just to make a very lazy cartoon with cats swearing all the time. The critics are absolutely panning it, and anytime anyone criticises it, he can now come out and go, oh, you don't like it because they swear and you're woke. And it's like, no, it's because it's absolute shite. Like, it's South Park has more like comedy in 3 seconds in it.
Everything he puts out makes Stephen Merchant look like an even better writer.
100%. And a better person, because he never... It's always, this is the show I created, and Merchant's always the show we created. And it's like, mate, I think we know where the talent went there. Anyway.
Yeah. Ooh!
Ooh, you're hard!
Ooh, swearing! When we come back, we're going to talk about Pokemon Pokopia. We are going to talk about the Zelda movie cast, and we're going to hopefully have some retro fun with Scullion. If he doesn't have anything, I'm going to make him smash that Lego skull he has behind him over his own head. We'll see you
I've got something to worry
in a minute. And we are back. Pokemon Pokopia. Chris, you may have heard of it. It's like Tamagotchi Life, but it's got Pokemon in it. They released their first DLC this week, Bubbly Basin, which adds a new town to Pokemon Pokopia. You can access it basically as soon as you get to the second town in Pokopia, and it's well established now that the Pokopia is set in the ruins of Kanto after some nondescript post-apocalyptic event that takes out all the humans, and you're bringing the Pokemon back to the world. So the original game, all of the areas were based off towns from the original game. This one, Bubbly Basin, is Cerulean City, which is the second main city in the game where Misty is. You find Misty's gym, all that kind of stuff. It adds tons of the water Pokemon that were missing from the Pokedex. 50 Pokemon in the Pokedex, a load of new habitats, like 200 new items. It's a fun little DLC. It is exactly what it says in the tin. You could have had this in the base game and it wouldn't feel out of place. It's not like post-game stuff. It's an extra town. And alongside that, they released a free update that fixes a load of stuff. So there is items now that are universal storage bins. So you put something in one in this bin in one town. If you build the bin in each of your towns and you can pick your stuff. So great. That's sorted. It fixed the way that some of the forms that Ditto can turn into, you used to not be able to pick up blocks or not be able to eat food. It was like an oversight, but they fixed all that kind of stuff. This feels like the big quality of life update with like, okay, like get that sorted, make this slightly easier. Now you can appraise 10 items at once rather than one at a time. So super happy with it. I completed all of it in a 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. session when it came out, but that was mainly for coverage purposes. But yeah, I think that the success of Pokopia has taken them aback, clearly.
Yeah.
They weren't prepped with like plush until like a lot of time after it was already out. The DLC plan, it seems to be, okay, let's just add to the main game rather than incorporate things that people pure loved from that, because obviously this stuff takes a long time, and I'm sure the DLC was like locked as the game was that's my light flying away again as the game was coming out. So when it comes to a DLC for a game that you're playing, I don't know if you feel the same way. I find it so hard to engage with DLC if it's like a mid-game thing in most cases, because I'm like, well, I've done everything because I reviewed this game. I don't want to go back to like a midpoint save and play it again as if I've not already done things. So in a life sim like this, it makes sense. But yeah, where do you fall down on that stuff?
I understand how it's a difficult thing for publishers and developers, because ideally you want the DLC to be an epilogue or like the next bit of the game. Yeah. You want to finish the game and go, okay, I want more. Okay, here's the next bit, here's the next bit, here's the next bit. But to do that, then you have to rely on people to finish the game first, and not everyone finishes the game. So I get it to an extent where the DLC is just chucked in the middle somewhere because that's the bit that people are playing. But you're right, it's awkward, because then you're like I remember Mass Effect doing it back in the day, and I was like, am I supposed to go back and pretend the game hasn't ended now and go back and do all this bit? So yeah, you're like you say, it's an open-ended game like that, where presumably I've not finished Pokopia, but presumably once the credits roll, you can keep going. You can, you can keep going. Story-wise, it wouldn't make sense for DLC to be after the game, right?
Although
because Raccoon City drops a nuke at the end of it, and the whole thing's blown away. I get it.
There is a way where you could do a DLC set after the game, but it would have to be like a big new story thing rather than like a new town that just fits seamlessly into the rest of the world. So yeah, there is Pokemon in it that are, so obviously the game is set post-apocalyptic Kanto. Joe Merrick of Cerebi.com, which is a little fan site you might have heard of, does in his spare time, posited that so Celebi is still missing. Most of the mythical and legendary Pokemon are in the game, but Celebi is still missing. He proposed that the final DLC, the mission is find Celebi, travel back in time and to before what happened. And I think that's an interesting concept. However, it would have to how would we be stopping this thing happening? Like, would we then go into Pokemon battles to because they're never clear about what happened. It's like an environmental kind of issue. Maybe you take Pokemon that can control the environment, like Kyogre and Groudon, you take them back in time with Celebi, and they go, they do a Greta Thunberg, and they go, how dare you? And they sort it all out. But yeah, I think this DLC is like a first kind of, okay, here's an extra town. I think it works totally well, and it's nice to see Pokemon that I really like Star You and Starmie being added in there. Lots of jobbers and in the roster again, but a lot of water Pokemon just they lost the way themselves after a while.
No Trubbish yet, thankfully, because presumably that's.
I'm pretty sure Trubbish was in the base game. Let me see.
Really?
Let me see.
That's why I didn't play it.
There's my light gone again.
Brilliant.
Well, I mean, Pokopia doesn't just have Kanto Pokemon; it has Pokemon from across the.
See, that's scandalous.
Trubbish is in the base game.
How does that work with the canon? Is that allowed? Are they allowed to go from region to region?
Yeah.
That's like seeing a panda just walking about in Edinburgh.
In Edinburgh, yeah.
Not in the zoo.
The thing is, the regional. Canonically, Pokemon from different regions can exist in their non-native region. Because if you think about Togepi in the anime debuted in Kanto. Like there's lots of precedent for, and every single Pokemon game. Don't at me, Joe, for the love of Christ. There are obviously Pokemon from previous regions that appear in future regions. Because of the way that the time-space continuum works, you can't have Pokemon that don't exist coming into regions that are currently happening. So theoretically, Trubbish have always been roaming the streets of Kanto and not just Unova, which is in New York.
Personally, I find the laissez-faire approach to the canon rather disgusting. But that's me.
Top 10 Pokemon. Number 1, Psyduck.
Psyduck. Number 2, Golduck.
Nice.
Number 3, another Psyduck. I just like all the daft ones. So, but I'm very, very old school, so they're all probably going to be from the first 150. I like a wee Dragonite every now and then.
Dragonite's nice, yeah.
I like a cheeky wee Manaphy just because it was one of the kind of fancy ones. I think Pokemon Ranger gave you that. Or am I making that up?
That is the case. Manaphy is one of the most annoying Pokemon so you needed to get an egg from Pokemon Ranger to
and then hatch
over.
it in Gold and Silver, maybe. That was when I Heart Gold and Soul Silver was it?
The DS era. Because so Manaphy is the catalyst for the Bubbly Basin DLC. Like you find Manaphy and it teaches you how to dive. Yeah,
I knew that prick was involved.
Manaphy's behind this.
I'll need to think more about a top 10. It's not something anyone's ever asked me.
Yeah.
So I'm wholly unprepared for it. But Pikachu and his pals.
I love Pikachu. And I think if you actually don't like Pikachu, you should be on some kind of register. Number 1 Pokemon for me, Charizard, no doubt. Chris Scullion.
Hello.
It's time for the long running segment that's quickly becoming a favourite. It's long running and quickly becoming, which is interesting. But first of all, I need to do a bit of Fred again on my Go XLR and see what kind of voice we're getting, because it's time for 60 Retro Seconds. Chris.
I hope that's not eating into my 60 seconds. Have we started? Or?
We've started.
Right. There's a company called City Connection who have been going for about 20 years. They named after a Jaleco game. There's a company called Jaleco, Japanese developer back in the day, and then a company called City Connection basically acquired all the rights to their games. And they've been doing a series called Jalecole, which is really awkwardly named. It's Jalecole. And it's basically a bunch of old Famicom games that they've been releasing on the Switch every so often, every few months. And there's now like 7 or 8 of them. The games in question are Rodland, Pizza Pop, Sayuki World, Yokai Club, Pinball Quest, Magic John in Totally Red, Bio Warrior Dan, and Wampum, which is very questionable, a bit Native American stuff in there, and also The Last Ninja. They're really good. They're only like £4 or £5 each, and it's basically the Famicom games. They've added achievements. They've got the usual rewinding and quick saving and stuff in there. It's just a nice wee series to let you play some old Famicom games that you might not be so familiar with because they weren't released in the West, and they've got some nice wee English translations in there too.
That was
Retro
Seconds with Chris Scullion.
I feel like you're playing hard and loose with the thing now, because usually you committed to one noise.
That's the thing. As a DJ, I have to experiment with my instrument. I do think it'd be
That's the first time.
Yeah, well, at least not on stream. I wish I had more of these, but it's probably for the best. I have like a little soundboard pad that I could put sounds all up in, but I'm easily distracted, and just having a censor button like that is good enough for me. So
that's good.
Yeah. By the way, the website that we were talking about earlier that just rage baits is anyway. Let's get on to the next story. Chris, they're doing a Zelda movie. And according to Deadline sources, the role of Ganondorf has been played by Australian actor Uli Latukefu. Apologies if that's not correct. It's the boy that played the young version of The Rock in Young Rock. I've actually seen clips of that. He seems pretty decent. He is playing Ganondorf, and also Sam Neill, God rest him, is going to be in the film. Chris, I can't wait to see this film, and I want to see if Zelda, how they're going to make Link talk. Is it going to be pure embarrassing? What's going to happen?
I don't know. It's the most unknown.
Hey, Zelda!
Hey, it's a Ganondorf guy. I don't know. It feels like it's going to be very... I think I'm going to feel very old watching it.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's aimed at younger people. The fact they've got the Maze Runner guy doing it, it feels very Twilight coded. I
would love that.
The kids say. I'm sure you would. You're about 12, but it's... I'm worried about it. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll... But do you know what I worry about it is? So Galaxy movie came out, and there's a small group of people, including myself, who were happy about one of the major plot points involving Rosalina and Peach. There was a small subsection of people who were angry about it.
What plot point is that?
Maybe about, spoilers for the Mario Galaxy movie, but it's being gone. You've had your chance that Peach and Rosalina are sisters. And there was a small group of people going, "Oh, good!"
Like biological sisters or
yes,
sisters?
No, biological. And there was a small portion of people who were angry about it, mainly because they were perverts who'd always fantasized about them getting it on. It's basically that was their Star Wars.
Guilty.
But my worry about the Zelda movie is that the Zelda fan base are so much more invested in its canon and
it's
the
pronounced
Ganondorf.
Ganon.
It's Ganondorf. Then Mario fans are basically like, whatever. Zelda fans are more like, but where does this fit in the timeline? But and they cast this guy who looks a lot like the Ocarina version of Ganondorf, and they've cast Deacon Lachman, who apparently plays Ms. Casey in Severance, which I've never seen. She's playing Impa, and she looks a lot like the Ocarina version of Impa. So I wonder if they're going to be like, he's wearing a Breath of the Wild outfit, but this has got Ocarina bits in it and all, and if the Zelda fans are just going to go ballistic, because they're just going to go, this doesn't make sense. And where in reality, nobody gives a shit, 'cause it's just a film. It's just a bit of fun. But so I don't know, Sam Neill being in it gives me hope. That was a nice wee surprise.
Who do you think he's going to play?
I think he's going to reprise his role of Damien, the son of the devil, which he played in Omen 3, The Last Conflict.
Oh.
Yeah, and where at the end he just runs about an empty, abandoned church as Damien screaming, Nazarene! Looking for Jesus to kill him. So I think it's good to that again. I think he'll be the King of Hyrule in a small role.
Hey, I'm Sam Neill, and I'm the King of Hyrule.
They'll do this is purely visual for people in the audio.
Yeah, audio.
He'll look up.
Here we go.
He'll be sitting in a wee car, and he'll look up and see Ganondorf taking over Hyrule Castle, and he'll go. And that'll be what happens. And then they'll reincarnate your boy who did the bad Scottish accent.
Who?
The boy, the main Jurassic Park boy.
The T-Rex.
Attenborough. Oh, come on, go.
Richard Attenborough.
Welcome to Hyrule.
Spared no expense. Is he actually related to David Attenborough, or is that just...
They're brothers. The Atten brothers.
Yeah.
God rest one of them.
And well, at the time of recording, maybe today. That would be
God rest one of them and counting.
Yeah, we need to do an emergency podcast like that time the GTA trailer comes out. It's like, David Attenborough's carked it. God rest him. That's it. 5-second video. I will not see this. I didn't see the second Mario film. Didn't care. I will be shocked if I even bother going and see the Elden Ring film. I just can't be bothered.
You don't like films, though, Mr. Took film at uni.
Yeah, I do like. I'm more of a in-person theatrical experiencer. And I saw Titanic and O'Mary over the weekend. Fantastic, really good, proper theatre. Spent a hell of a lot of money on London, which is a massive scam of a city. But God, good food. Let me tell you, good food, good eats, good drinks, good vibes.
Try living there for 9 years. It absolutely finished me.
I'd rather tan my wrists. So obviously it was boiling, and all these jokesters were out in their ice cream vans. Guy called Sweet Tooth. So we went on with a right, get an ice cream, bite the bullet. This will be £6 for a 99. Right, scandalous. We were sitting there eating them because it was just too hot. It was too hot, and then someone came up after us and ordered an ice cream, and he did the oh yeah, darling, get your ice cream, get your flake, get a raspberry sauce, sprinkles on top. There you go, darling. There's your ice cream. $6.95, and you just heard this woman's husband going, "You know what? I'm at $6.95. It's like $6.95. I'm not paying $6.95. He's like, I don't set the prices, mate. I've already done it now. I don't set the prices." And he ended up begrudgingly paying it. I was hoping that she would just launch the ice cream back into the van for all of us standing there. Everyone clapped, but no.
Do you know what's a common misconception? I always see the argument when it comes to 99.
It's not actually cream. You go.
Well, no, it's not even ice. It comes out warm. It's like magma. The people that you always get the argument when a 99 doesn't cost 99p. People go, but it's called a 99. It's a common misconception. That was never called a 99 because it cost 99 pence. That sort of branding wouldn't survive an inflation. It's called 99 because that's the motion you make when the ice cream comes down. You make it in motion of 2 nines. It's actually instructions for the ice cream
That's interesting.
Dispatcher to make 2 9 motions, and you can gift that all you like. And yeah.
Do you know they don't sell many of them in Germany? Because every time someone asks for them, the ice cream man just goes, "Oh well, never mind then."
Would you like no to know?
VGC Live.
Speaking of Germany, next week at some point, probably the end of next week, if I'm being fair, on Patreon, I'm going to pop up my lost footage from last year's Gamescom.
Yeah.
Because I was planning a Gamescom travel diary and then realised that the equipment I had was ill-suited for it, and I was absolutely rammed. So I ended up not finishing it. But there's a wee lost tapes. There's loads of footage still there, including me being applauded. A genuine everybody clapped moment at the airport when my taxi turned up, because there was a concert going on nearby, and the taxis were absolutely couldn't get into the airport, and it got to the point where everyone genuinely was waiting like up to an hour for a taxi. And the guy had a big list of everyone's names, because at Edinburgh Airport now they insist on city cabs or whoever it is, capital cars doing all the taxis, and you got to give their name and they put you in a list, and he checks the registration plate of the taxi when it turns up. So I've got footage of me waiting and the car turning up. I've got to the point where everyone was sarcastically clapping everyone else who got a taxi, because we were all in this siege mentality, we're all in this together. I've got footage of the thing turning up, the guy looking at the thing going, "Scullion," and me going, "Yep," getting up, and as I walk to the car, everyone's clapping me, because I finally get to go home.
Did you get
it's
that?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Get up, you bastards! I'll see you in hell. So yeah, it's good. So yeah, expect that near the
Video Games Chronicle next week.
Expect that, yeah, near the arse end of next week.
Nice little Lost Files. Me and you will get in the studio and maybe watch some shite gaming telly early next week as well. I think we should maybe get that sorted. Obviously, dear leader, the Führer, is still away at the moment, so he will be back. Is he back next week, following week, something like that?
Following week, I believe.
And that will run right up against when we all disappear to the Four Corners for the Pokemon World Championships and Gamescom. And then
the following week, yous are both away in Japan again. For
I think we get
many weeks.
To be fair, I'm taking my first actual holiday.
It's a novelty for you. Although you're not into it like all around the world usually.
Very, very serious.
But But yeah, so like next week, you're going to see a man collapse mentally when every game in the world comes out, and I'm just standing there going, all right. So that'll be fun.
Well, I was going to do something about these Ultimate Team changes, but we're running long here. The headlines, Chris, and we'll talk about FC 27 close to the time. But now, squad building challenges, instead of having 11 cards, each card you have has like a point value, and you have to make it up to the point system. So you can put in like 100 gold cards to get up to the Team of the Week pack instead of using like 11 gold cards of a certain rating. It's a lot of stuff that makes things a lot easier. There's like a Foot Gallery collection book. Lots of
That's
stuff.
the thing I'm most excited about. Yeah. I've always wanted that, and then they're finally, it's basically NBA 2K.
Yeah, exactly.
They're finally doing that.
Long overdue. They have to go as far as NBA though. Currently it isn't like, okay, there's a Aberdeen Celtic, like you get a card from every team from all of that. It's more kind of, there'll be one that's like, oh, here's the La Liga collection book, just put your best La Liga cards in here. So I think it's a good start that they could build on. But interesting what I played. There's an interview on the YouTube channel and a feature on the website you can go and check out. Chris Scullion this week, he'll just be knee deep in a book.
Pretty much. Obviously tonight I've got Viva La Games Club in Glasgow, where I'll be talking extensively about Super Mario Galaxy, and then about my own career, basically regurgitating many stories that I've already told.
I was about to say, you hate that. You hate talking about yourself.
I hate that.
Nothing worse.
I very much hate to be the centre of attention. So that'll be good. And
after
then,
we do half an hour on these influencers. These influencer bastards. Oh, by the way, tonight I'm going to do an interview about myself.
By the way, it's all about me, incidentally. But it's weird because I think it's actually the first time I've done an event like this where I've been the guy, so that's going to be weird, but good. And then Saturday, Sunday, I went to Asda last night, stocked up on snacks. We're talking Red Bulls, because Monsters don't actually give me energy anymore. I think Red Bull have got an extra ingredient in them which actually works. When I'm doing like lengthy drives, it's a Red Bull I go for every time instead of a Monster. We're talking Mackey's orange chocolate.
Oh, the bars. Yeah, they're nice.
We're talking those new Walkers are now doing those new peanuts which are flavoured based on their crisp brands. So they've now got peanuts which are coated in pickled onion Monster Munch flavouring. Oh, which are fantastic. So we're talking them. I think that's about it. We're talking a cheeky Ben and Jerry's as well if it comes to it. If things are really, if you're like, I need to sleep, so I'm going to hool this Ben and Jerry's and immediately fall asleep. That's a fish food, of course.
Yeah,
fish food.
Fish food, mate.
Fish food.
They don't make baked Alaska anymore, do they? That was always my go-to.
It's very rare if they do it. It's very rare. They do a good marshmallow s'more one now, which is good.
I don't want.
You don't need chocolate ice cream?
No, not at all. It needs to be. See, you go to America and it's fucking they've got supermarkets that are just Ben and Jerry's. They've got so many different flavors of it. But America, land of the fat, home of the fat. We'll be back next week with another podcast.
Apologies to the Americans coming to VGC Live.
I'm not sorry. You can speak to me to my face if you've got a problem with me. If you've got a problem with me, text me about it. And if you can't text me because you don't have my number, you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me.
There's virgin on your face. If you don't have a problem with me, it's because you can't cope and woke. Oh, sorry, does my swearing offend you?
Ooh, sorry. I like dogs.
So here's my cartoon about cats.
A dog couldn't swear. I'm going a bit bowing. A dog couldn't swear.
I'm almost want to watch an episode of it just so that I've got.
Shall we start a review podcast just for this fucking alley cat show?
Just so I don't come across as one of those ignorant people who are like, I haven't seen it. Like, I've seen that 4-minute clip and I feel like that's enough. But I also want to give myself ignorance. I want to have like a book of like an easily accessible list of well, this is in it, and this is in it, and this is in it, and this is shocking. Apparently, there's a racist bit in it, which
I can't believe that.
Into too much.
I cannot believe that.
So it seems like he's just ticking every box to try and get.
Although, to be fair,
as much offence as possible.
As much as I'm loath to say this, I feel like he's never really done racist stuff. It's not really been his bag. It's been like, okay,
he's done transphobic, he's done homophobic,
the most ableist stuff you can possibly imagine. I mean, you watch Derek, and that's the kind of stuff you'd be coming out with in primary school, that kind of
He did a few in his XFM show. I believe he did a Chinese neighbour called Holy Fook.
Oh, yes.
I believe, and then he did a voice for that, but that was like, he's not made a career out of racism.
It was the early 2000s.
With it.
Chris,
and he dropped the N-word in that kind of that chat with a bunch of comedians. Maybe I don't know if you've seen the video, but there's like a round table where they're talking about it, and he just keeps saying it over and over again. And Seinfeld's like, I can't even say it. I'm surprised you're even saying it. Seinfeld looks really uncomfortable because he's saying it, and the big boy who got done for getting his dick out, what was his name? The beardy guy.
Oh, Louis C.K.
He's saying it all the time and all. And they're both going, oh, well, if you can say, well, I don't believe in the word, but I'm saying it, and they're both saying it. And Seinfeld's sitting there going, I can't.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld's uncomfortable with that, but not the extermination of an entire people. See you next week, patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle for all your ad-free browsing, extra video podcasts, and etc. We'll be back. Say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
Oh, swearing! And we'll see you next week.